Okay, in this lesson, we're going to talk about applying a single note riff to our 12-bar blues pattern. So we're going to do this in the key of G. So we're going to start in third position with our first finger on our third fret. And the tune's going to go like this. Okay, so we're also going to be at the same time working on our alternating picking, and also kind of skipping over a string, because sometimes when you're first starting out playing, that can be kind of a little tricky. So this kind of is like an exercise, but a tune at the same time. So third position, first finger, we're going to hit the third fret on the E string twice. You can reference your tab there. Okay, then we're going to skip down to the octave with our third finger, fifth fret, D string, and hit that twice. So then we're going to go third fret, D string with our first finger, twice, and then fifth fret, A string with our third finger, twice. So that's our first riff built on top of the one chord. If you remember from our blues progression, we have a 1, 4, 5 progression based off the intervals of our G major scale. So this is the riff based out of the one chord. So that's one bar of the riff. And as you remember from our 12-bar blues pattern, we play the one chord for 4 bars. So we'll play that 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we know we go to the 4 chord. So we're going to just play that same riff starting on the root note of the 4 chord, which in the key of G, if you count up your major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, is C. So we'll play the riff there. Starting on the A string, third fret. Then we jump down to the octave, the fifth fret of the G string, third fret, G string, fifth fret, D string. So we're just moving the riff down, up in pitch, but physically down to the A string. So we know we play the 4 chord for 2 bars. So play that twice. 2. Then we go back to the 1 chord for 2 bars. So we play our riff on the G. Then we go to the 5 chord. So we count up. Where's our 5 chord in the key of G? 1. We use the major scale. We count up to the 5th interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's right there on D. So we're going to start that riff on D. So we're going to switch positions. We've been playing in the 3rd position. We're going to slide up to the 5th position so that we can play that riff starting with our first finger. So 5th fret on the A string with our first finger, to the 7th fret, G string with our third finger, 5th fret, G string, 7th fret, D string. So, okay, so far, this is what we have. That's what we have so far. Now, before we move any further, I want you to take note of my pick hand and how I'm picking this. Alternating my picking. So you're going to want to practice skipping over that A string to the octave. The tendency will be to kind of bump that A string, so it's just something you got to work on. Okay, so now we're at our 5 chord on the D. In the past couple lessons, we've learned 12-bar blues. We've played that 5 chord for 2 bars, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So you can play the blues kind of several different ways. It's typically always 12 bars, but we're going to stay on that 5 for 1 bar, and then we're going to drop to the 4 for a bar. So it would go... then back to the 1. Then for the 12th bar, the pattern, here comes our turnaround. We're just going to play a power chord on the 5 chord. And we're just going to play 8th notes there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay? So, whole thing. So that is a way to take a single note pattern and apply it to a 12-bar blues progression. So what you're working on here is our 12-bar blues pattern and recognizing that. And remember, we're changing it up a little bit. When we go to the 5 chord, we're just hanging on it for 1 bar instead of 2 like we have in the past. And you're also working on your alternating your picking.